All right, guys. Let's see. I don't think my audio's up. Oh, yeah, it is. All right. I could not fix it. I'm going to have to do some major reinstalling. I don't know. OBS did an update on me. Maybe something's wrong there. So I apologize sincerely. It sucks. I was looking forward to playing. Looking forward to playing some matches and testing out some of the new heroes, but I will have to do some major checking on some of my equipment. In the meantime, I do want to go over some of the updates, so I figured I'd just do this and instead. I need to do this anyway. From the July 30th update, July 31st, I guess is what I said on the stream notes, but it says July 30th on the website. Really disappointed in all this. Anyway, so let's just look up some of this. Zekin is a Sinestria player, so he played some of these matches, or some matches with the revamped Sinestria, and gave me his thoughts on kind of what it looked like to him. And so let's just go over this. The passive is pretty much normal. The normal attack range and attack speed is increased when she hits a target. What's different, the blood ritual, she only spends 50% of her current HP. I believe it was more than that. And it restores 10% of her max HP. But the passive is that she goes in and out of melee mode and ranged mode. I wonder. Let me see. What is this? Nope. Oh, I don't have the chat up there, so you'll have to look at the chat. The Twitch and the YouTube chat won't go combine. Anyway, from what he was telling me, the switching between melee mode and ranged mode was part of her S1 or S2 abilities before. And now, after 4 normal attacks, she leaves melee mode and moves into ranged mode. And her skill 1, skill 2 cooldowns are refreshed immediately. He tells me that she stays in ranged mode for a certain period of time. Yeah, Gavin, Gavin says that he heard that she's stronger, but most players complain that she's not as fun to play. And that's what they're trying to do. See, it says she's got a steep learning curve and it keeps many players from trying her out. Zekin said that he didn't mind the gameplay, the way she has been revamped. It was easier to play her, but he swears up and down that she does not have as much burst, that she's not putting out as much damage, and she also doesn't have as much heal as she used to. So I don't know if it's going to be, if that's a good thing or a bad thing on this revamp, but her skill 1, when in melee mode, she falls asleep after she moves in an indicated direction, so she goes invisible. Next normal attack becomes a lunge and deals damage. In ranged mode, she fires the arrows and it deals damage and knocks them back, and then also binds them to a wall but it doesn't say how long that effect lasts either, the bind effect. So looks like it's kind of similar to Chi, where it stuns whenever they get hit into a wall. In melee, skill 2, she swings her blade in a fan, dealing damage. In ranged mode, she aims into the direction, locks onto enemies. After aiming, she fires an arrow at all marked units and deals damage. And then her ultimate becomes ranged. Her normal attacks shoot 3 blood arrows. She gains life steal, 30% movement speed bonus, and is immune to slow effects. So it's not much of a difference, but it's enough to make her a little more playable by some of the new people. And again, like I said, Zekins doesn't seem to think she does as much damage. She's just not quite as effective. So I would imagine that we'll see some buffs to this, um, and then we'll see her nonstop in just about every match. So we'll see how that goes. Ishar has been buffed primarily. The furball knocks up a target, and if the furball is dead, activate the skill to instantly resurrect it while throwing it in the target location. Oh, okay. So her ult can instantly revive. You don't have to wait on furball to resurrect before you use your ultimate. Yorn has been buffed. I do like Yorn. I've always liked the way he plays. Yeah, I hopefully Skies can jump on next week. Next Tuesday's stream. I'm going to be out of town. Zekin's going to be taking over for me and doing the stream next week. It would be interesting to have Skies, if Skies is watching, if he can jump in and give his opinion on it, on the Sinestria rework. And abilities 1 and 2 are refreshed when she enters range mode. Yeah, so that is Sinestria's updates. But Yorn, I do see that his skill 1 does a lot more damage. It's pretty great. And then his skill 2 cooldown is also pretty great. I love those across the map snipes. I've had a few games that are just hilarious. You guys know that I don't map hack, and so whenever you get, you can kind of anticipate which direction somebody's moving when they're low on health. I've been recalling across the map, and then up by the tier 1 tower of the enemy, there's been a fight going on. I'll shoot my arrow up that way and do just enough damage that Magonga's poison or Nakroth, they can get the kill. So it's just fun. And the lower cooldown means that you can just fire those arrows forever. It's great. I love the snipes. It's just so much fun trying to guess where people are going to be, Elsu, his snipe base damage has been increased. The base is lower, but the 140 plus level, or divided by the level, plus, and then 6% of the target's max HP. If you did the math, that'd probably be a pretty big increase in his snipes, which his snipes already did a ton of damage, so we'll see about that. Lindis, I've never played Lindis. And you don't see her much, so maybe these buffs will get her back in the meta a little bit. Skill 1's damage is up. Skill 2's damage and charge damage is up. Charge time is reduced. Magonga, speaking of Magonga, he's got a little bit of a buff. Mark healing effect. So he's got a lot more healing on his S2. Brunhilde has an ultimate buff. The cooldown is significantly lower, and that's pretty great. Considering her ultimate is kind of terrible. If she can reuse it more often, that's going to be great for her. So that's good. Bonnie, that's going to be an interesting one. I've never played Bonnie either, but she's had a damage increase on her S1. Hino got some nerfs. We don't have him in the North American server yet, so that doesn't matter to us. Blitzblade, it says it's a nerf, but really it's just an adjustment. The normal attack and chain lightning has been put back to its reworked higher stats there, but the passive has a little bit of a cooldown time now. So that lightning doesn't trigger quite as often, and they're trying to balance it that way by just not having quite as many lightning strikes. Federation reinforcements have been buffed, so the cooldown time is 30 seconds faster, which I think is great. I think Federation reinforcements at 90 seconds was pretty useless. But at 60 seconds, I think that makes it something that is pretty useful for tanks, and other people like that. So that's going to be an interesting one there, to see if we see more of those. And if we were able to play, Zekin has been playing with some Federation reinforcements on his supports, and it's been working out pretty well. So that is that. Then the various bug fixes. I'm really sorry about the stream tonight, guys. It has, technology has failed me. The original rework of Blitzblade triggers lightning for each third normal attack. And then this one, let's see. We're hesitant to nerf those heroes. We've decided to add a built-in cooldown to Blitzblade while reverting back to its previous values. Increases cooldown time by 3 seconds, 0.3 seconds after the effect is triggered. That's weird. That's a weird way to word that, isn't it, Gavin? Why not just say cooldown between triggers? But I guess that's true if you've got somebody like Valheim that's just firing, rapid firing. Every third attack would be lightning. Now this way it's every third attack plus 0.3 seconds. So I guess there's no real way to put a second's time on that. It just depends on how fast the person's firing as to how often that triggers. So yeah, they're trying to nerf it by making it not trigger quite so often. 0.3 seconds isn't that much though, depending on the hero. Somebody like Valheim isn't gonna know 0.3 seconds. Not gonna notice it. Well, anyway, guys, I see some more people are kind of just popping on here and there, and I sincerely apologize. I really wish that I have not had any technical difficulties. I will work on this. If I do get it up and running, tonight we might have, a couple of games if I can get it running, but there's no guarantees. And otherwise, Zekin's going to be subbing in next Tuesday for the stream. Zekin and hopefully Tridos will be on. I'll be out of town heading to Peoria, Illinois to play some disc golf. So hopefully everybody has a good week. I'm really disappointed. I was looking forward to trying some of these heroes tonight. Yeah. I can't get my capture card to work, Neil. I can't get my phone to hook into the computer. I don't know why. I've rebooted everything. I've unplugged and replugged, and the only thing I can think is OBS. It did an update on me earlier today, and I can only imagine that it's got some software screwed up. I'm probably have to uninstall and reinstall OBS and set all my stuff up again. It's going to be a nightmare. But it is what it is. I'm gonna work on it and hopefully have everything ready for Zekin, and yeah, we can go from there. Now I tell you what, I was gonna say I could probably play some Minecraft, but I probably ought to just work on this instead while I got the time. I won't have time to work on it if I play Minecraft instead. So all right, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully I can get this back online here in about half an hour. If I can get it back online before 7 o'clock, I'll kick up another stream and we'll try this again and play for an hour. But if I can't, I will see y'all in a couple of weeks, and you'll see Zekin next week. So, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to try to get this fixed, and hope y'all have a good evening.